I'm an engineer. I was an engineer for 10 years. Um, I was a senior engineer at Tesla for 7 years, 3 years as an engineer and 4 years as a senior engineer. And my job at Tesla was to figure things out. I worked in the middle of the factory where they make the cars. I was in the production line actively. And if something breaks, we get a call as control engineers to go help the maintenance team to figure out what's going on. And that was my life for 7 years. Finding the problems in the fastest way, because every minute means money. There was a time that they had counters on the screens that was showing how much money we lose per minute of downtime. If an equipment breaks and it's more than 5-10 minutes, your company is losing a lot of money, and we don't want that to happen. And my job was that in that high risk environment, in the fastest way, find a solution. So I have this tendency of making sense of things. So my mom was the love of my life. It was everything to me. Since I opened my eyes, all I was seeing was her, looking after me, loving me, but at the same time living life with her own sufferings. She lost her mom when she was 18 years old. She was raised in a religious family. She got married in an early age when she was suffering. Her parents, she really wanted to study, go to university, but then she was forced to, in order to survive, to start working and distracting herself. And her dad was really leading that, trying to protect her. So he sent her to work instead of school. And then at work, she meets my dad, completely from a different world, different culture. And they get married. After 1 year, she has a baby, which is my older brother. A marriage to survive a lot of sufferings, a lot of grief, probably for her mom. And then it was me after 8 years. And it was me after 8 years. So I opened my eyes. At 6 months old, when I had fever, I would get seizures. For twice it happened to me at 6 months and 9 months. So my mom not quitting, like pauses her work, and she stays at home with me because I had to be watched all the time. So for about 4 years, I was home with my mom. And that explains why she's been everything to me. I think everyone's mother is everything for everyone, but for me, it was a different, deeper connection. And very early childhood, I decided to take a role of her survivor. I made my life mission to help her survive by being good, but trying really, really hard. Definition of love for me was to try really, really hard to get it. Being successful, pleasing other people to love me, and feeling enough. But then it came a phone call on my way to work about February of 2024. Yes. And I got a call and they were like, "Your mom is sick. Can you come to Iran if we ask you?" My mom was suffering depression ever since she retired from her job. I immigrated. My brother was married, and all those sufferings were coming up for her. And she was dealing with depression, and then she always had these like chronic pains that nobody could explain. Every doctor we go to, they're like, there's nothing physical wrong. It's more her depression, or like this is her nervous system. And all of these are like psychosomatic experiences and diseases that she's having. But I'm explaining these now with the knowledge that I have right now. Over back then, I had no idea what's going on. I didn't know what to do. I was just doing my best, but being the best version of myself for her to be proud of, and to take care of her, to make sure that she knows I'm fine. She doesn't have to worry about me. And it got her covered. And then I went to Iran. And yeah, that's my bad. And I watched her die. You go to every doctor and everybody tells you you're late. This is too much. It's lung cancer, metastatic to all her bones. How can a body get damaged like that? What can a mental suffering do to your body? So that became the mission of my life.
What's that mission if you have to explain it?
One is for myself to be able to surrender to life before I die. The path to surrender goes through self-love. So my mission for myself is to love myself unconditionally, to be able to surrender. That will be my lifestyle. And I wish this was my mom's lifestyle as well. I wish this for you. I wish this for my dad. I wish this for my brother. I wish this for all my family members, all my close friends. And I want this for you. These past 2 years, I think my mom's passing has opened my heart and opened my mind. It changed everything about me. I quit my highest paid job. I removed the golden handcuffs. And I really want to help people. I don't know, maybe my ego will be feeding from this service. But it's a good feed. It's love. Why should I not feed my ego love? Whatever it takes. My mission in life is to love him, but I have to feed him love. So I'm starting this service in a form of life coaching with one-on-one with clients, but I have a lot bigger vision to be able to help more than just a few people.
So tell me about Nafas. Why is it called Nafas? What is it all about?
Yeah, after my mom passed away, very naturally, after a month, I was at a party. It was actually for my birthday in Iran. And I met this girl. She was like 22 years old or so. And apparently, she had experience with psychedelics and meditation. And then throughout the party, around like closer to the morning, at around like 5 a.m., we went to the rooftop of the villa and um, we laid down. And she asked me if I ever meditated, and I was like, no. And she told me to just pay attention to your breath and then look at the clouds in the sky and think of those as your thoughts. And for the first time in my life, I was conscious of my breathing and I was looking at it and I felt different. It was like, this is peaceful. And then I hung out with her a few other times and we meditated more. And then I was reaching to these moments that they call meditative states, that I figured later that they're called that. And I was able to feel my mom there. She was there. She was there. I could feel her. I was like, I want more of this. I want way more of this. I want this every day. I want this every moment. She's gone, but she's not gone. She's here, watching me, showing me the way, helping me make better decisions, making me courageous, making me calm, making me patient. These are all characteristics of self. So the more I become myself, the more I will feel her. She's here in my heart center. The kingdom of God lives in your heart. The kingdom of God lives in your heart. And the more I can access this intuition and stay connected with it, I still more connected with my mom. And this is all Nafas is about. Nafas means breath in Farsi. And breath is what connects you to the present moment. And the present moment is the portal to your higher self. Nafas can keep you here, centered, aligned, grateful, present, patient, loving, connected, courageous, calm. It all goes through Nafas. And I built this coaching methodology based on my own experience over the last 2 years since the passing of my mom. This coming Friday, July 10th, will be her birthday, and I'm dedicating Nafas to her. Nafas is a dedication to my mom, and I'm so grateful for it.
Now, how is this related to heart meditation? And maybe explain what heart
Yes,
meditation is as well. Yeah.
yeah. So your awareness is expandable. Your awareness expands and contracts. But every time it contracts, it can stay contracted all the time. This is when your attention is all in your head. You're in your thoughts. And you think your thoughts are you. You identify with your thoughts and your emotions. This is completely contracted. You can go one level out with meditation and some other practices to start a little gap between who you actually are and your thoughts. So you're able to observe your thought a little bit. This is after 45 days of meditation, like to create a habit of mindfulness meditation. And then over time, when you do some mind work, you can stay in the layer of mind. But the process of your system is not just mind. Usually, when you get a trigger, it registers through your sensory system to your mind, and right away gets flagged by threat or pleasure. And then that information, it gets communicated to your body through your nervous system, and you start having body responses. You get agitated, or like you get tightened, or your heart starts racing. And this is because of all the chemicals that were transferred in your body. And then this reaction is communicated back through your vagus nerve and nervous system to your mind. And then your mind and your subconscious start adding narratives to this response. And your body response plus your narrative creates your emotions. And then you start feeling anxious or sad or angry, or you get the feeling. And then right away at that point, the mind is like a bigger brother to the heart, to the feelings. So the mind is designed to protect you and also your nervous system. And they right away start to do something to calm you down, or like balance this hormones and this sensation. And they use the paths that they know. They've been trained. Your mind has been trained to please other people, achieve all those like sub-personalities of your ego, and your nervous system has learned these pathways to go grab those narratives and like be either in fight or flight, or like freeze, or all these possibilities. And then you come up with a response. You either grab your phone, you start texting your ex, you start go watch porn, you start smoking, you start drinking, you start doing drugs, you go have sex with someone, you get on dating apps, you do like a lot of things to calm yourself down, depending of that emotion, what that is. If it's the feeling of not being enough and unworthiness, there are certain subpersonalities of your ego that are designed to protect you against those kind of feelings. And then there are some routines and habits that you developed over time, and the way that your nervous system is used to it, to calm you down and like bring you back worth, or like if you feel lonely, to make you feel wanted, if you feel unloved, to make you feel loved. They use all the tricks that they can, and that creates your state of being. Your state of being at the end is a combination of how smooth the system is working, how How relaxed are you living? How much work you have done to let go? How much do you breathe? How do you train your nervous system to use different ways? How do you change your habits? How do you change your narratives? How do you make this system the best version of it? So I figured there are 4 subsystems in a human design system. There's your mind, there is body and nervous system, there is integration, which is your lifestyle, and your relationships. So the way I designed my coaching methodology, it's called signal method. The whole point of and mission of signal method is to connect you with the signals that are available in your heart center, Hiradaya, where the self lives. Well, where your intuition lives. The thing is, the signal is distorted right now, and Nafas helps you remove those distortions and be able to not only listen to your heart, but rest in your heart and live from that place, from that vastness of your spiritual heart, where the answer of who am I exists. So to answer your question, heart center meditation would help you access the source. So it brings your awareness from the mind level to the body level, because you can do all the mindfulness meditations in the mind level, and then it just makes you a better observer of your thoughts. But in the mind, everything is sequential. So you're going to be, over time, you become an observer of your thoughts and emotions. Then you become observer of the observer of the observer of the. So it's that way. It's a never ending. Mind is not designed to get you access to the source like that. The source is in your heart. But when you make the signal so clear, by letting go, but like cleaning the mind and your nervous system, the communication system between mind and heart is relaxed and trained in the best and most optimal way of a human being, which is to be able to connect to your breathing all the time and to the present moment, right here, right now. The reality is right now that me and my best friend are sitting in front of a camera talking about my coaching style. That's the only reality right now. Being present, that's the goal of Nafas. And that's what heart center meditation prepares you with. And it's a type of meditation that I really, really gonna be the center of my practice.
Can you explain it a little bit more? Just
Yeah.
because you know how like everyone's like, my heart is on the left, but this is like slightly to the right. So what is
Yes.
all that about?
Yeah, it's your heart, the physical heart, extends towards your chest center. And Ramana Maharshi, an old Indian guru, he and a bunch of other Indians, they figured that in the 1/8 corner of it, in the middle of your chest, a little bit to the right, it could be a reference point that could point you to the vastness of your heart. It's just like a pointer to the moon. It's not the moon. It is like a finger that is pointing to the moon. It's not the moon. It's just a finger that is showing you. And they figured this area, if you focus there many times with practice, it can give you access to more vision and intuition. So that's where they say your higher self lives. That's where your I lives. That's where your subject lives. That is where the answer of the self-inquiry of who am I is possible to be, not to be answered, but to be felt. there is this stillness by paying attention to the pauses between your breaths, which is equivalent to the pauses and gaps in between your thoughts. You can calm your mind and then get lost in that space. Yeah.
Now, why did you pick the human design system for Nafas? There's like so many different options, but what kind of narrowed you down to choose this methodology?
It was my since my mom passed away, I got exposed to meditation, and then I got exposed to a lot of podcasts about meditation and different apps. And it happened that at the same time you were meditating as well. So I had my best friend who was like sharing his experience with me. So I got exposed to different resources. And then since I was finding my mom in those meditative states, I was really obsessive to figure what that is, to make sense of it. Like, this is my style. My lifestyle is like making sense of things. This is me. This is how my mind works. So I was like making sense of that meditative state, and then I was there to meet my mom, but I was meeting myself. I was meeting God. I was like, oh my God, what is this? So I was like, from this book to that book, from this podcast to the podcast, I started journaling. I started like having a lot of chats with AI, chat GPT, and going through like, what is ego? What is this? So I started my self-work journey just looking for my mom. And then over time, went through the experiences, I was able to process some of my grief, some of my thoughts, some of my traumas, and some of the things that I was carrying. The wisdom was just raising and raising and getting better and better. So I built Nafas from my own journey, a 2-year old journey of dealing with the grief of my mom and knowing myself and finding all the answers in the present moment. And I engineered the process that I went through with a very sophisticated methodology, which helps you work on 4 domains: your mind, your body and nervous system, your lifestyle, and your relationships. So it's designed in a way, so with the tools that I have, if there's a questionnaire, there's an assessment that I designed to be able to figure out your bottleneck in these domains. Because as you know, a production line, it consists of many stations. And if one station is the bottleneck and you don't take care of that bottleneck first, there's no point improving other areas. So that's one of the deficiencies in the wellness right now, that I feel like people start doing yoga, doing Pilates, doing all these different practices, while that's not what their system needs at this point. If someone is like super trauma heavy and had it like experiences that is really traumatic, they may take advantage of an IFS therapist or like a different type of somatic worker if they have like body problems. So we need to understand what's the bottleneck in their system, the system that I defined. So by knowing their bottleneck, we use all the knowledge and all the practices that they would help them. I know some practices myself that I can teach, but then if there's anything else, I would refer them and I get them to do. And I'll be their companion for 12 weeks at least to go through this process of improving their bottleneck and then expanding to the other levels. So I designed a pathway for them, but I'm not a therapist. I'm a person that has a coaching methodology. And if you start my program, you have to do the work, and I'll be there to just walk you through it. And it's going to be a beautiful experience for both of us.
Is there anything that you want to share with people?
I would love you guys to support me in my journey. This is my passion, and I will not quit. but making me being seen would help me with my mission, and I'm very serious about my mission. And I want to thank all my followers, all my friends, all my family that over the last 2 years never abandoned me. And the mission of Nafas is to help you learn how to never abandon yourself, even in the toughest times of losing of a loved one. I'm forever grateful. Thank you guys. Thank you for
Okay.
conversation. It was good.